You could probably hear me now. In fact, I know you can hear me now. What's up? Oh, I'm echoing back in my own ear. That's awesome. I'm going to go ahead and output. Audio monitor. Oh, I'm echoing 3 times. Well, twice. I got to turn the audio off on the Substack too. Let's see. Turn audio monitor off. Then go in here and then mute the Substack. There we go. Excellent. Haha. All right. So, uh, let me switch over to this other view real quick. So I'm going live for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna get off the live, and then gonna start a brand new live stream with Nate. We're gonna talk about that thing. What is that thing? Claude companion? No, no, that's not it. Uh, Claude with coworkers. That's it. So we're going to talk about Claude with coworkers. So yeah, we're going to talk about this plugin first, which I spent way too long putting together today, and just out of a random idea I had this morning, and then probably Nate and I will be getting on here. Hold on, he just messaged me. He said he's in baby mode right now. Okay, so I'm going to tell him real quick what we're doing. So I decided to go live for a few minutes talking about the plugin I built because I'm going to share that with everybody. And I just told everyone that I'm going to make this kind of a short episode and then come back on with you in a little bit talking about Claude Cowork. So take your time. Okay, so that was tonight. And yeah, so that Ahad saw the notes. Hey, what's up, David? Ahad. So yeah, they are very extraordinarily technical notes. But all right, you have to check out this plugin. I put a link to it in the chat. And let me see. I'll put another link to it for anybody who just joined, and I'll talk about it a bit. It is so. Let me go to the documentation real quick. I'll just open up the README here, and we'll bring up the size a little bit. Maybe get rid of Claude for a minute, and we'll get rid of the File Explorer. There we go. Cool. So this is it. So the plugin I built, I had this epiphany this morning that, Ahad, you're going to love it. But I had this epiphany this morning. I thought to myself, you know what? Claude Code is pretty bash pilled. I forget who it was that it was one of Anthropic's developers who said that Claude Code just loves bash. And I thought to myself, you know what? That's kind of important, because that's how we do a lot of API calls. Well, not really, but sort of. And then I got the news that Perplexity had put out an MCP server yesterday or this morning, one of the two, and I'm like, you know what? You know what I really, really hate? Yeah, curl. That's what we're going to be using. But I thought to myself, you know what I really hate is anytime I ask Claude Code to search for something online, to pull up some context, it does this thing. So, I mean, its built-in web search has a hardcore confirmation bias. So Claude will be like, hey, what are all the details about Node.js 15.2? And meanwhile, we're on like 75. And it'll get the answers, but it'll get a super biased answer that doesn't look for the latest thing, and it's just super annoying. And it's slow. Claude Code's web search is ridiculously slow. So with this plugin, I have fixed that. So basically, you take the plugin, you install it, and it's a bunch of hooks, and it gives you it forces Claude to use Perplexity's API to do searches instead of using Claude's native search tool, which is, I mean, it's not terrible, but it is not Perplexity. So check it out. And I did a bunch of testing too. So basically how it works. So when you ask Claude to search for something, the plugin blocks the built-in, like it straight up blocks the built-in web search tool. It calls Perplexity directly using curl, using your API key, and you get results with actual inline citations. No MCP server or anything. Just direct API calls straight to Perplexity, stored in your Claude settings file. It all configures all that stuff for you, which is awesome. I have to have the hook intercept the web search, and it was a whole thing. Claude sometimes really just doesn't like following directions when it comes to how you use certain tools or what tools to use. It'll use the tool. It'll do what it thinks is the best thing to do. But if it was, I don't know, if it has to do any extra work, sometimes it'll just be like, oh, it'll fall back to what it's used to. So let's script through this. So what this uses, Claude will intelligently pick out, based on what it needs, any of the 4 models. So Sonar Pro, Sonar Reasoning Pro, and Sonar Deep Research. And then and on top of that, it will automatically assign the level of thinking, which, low, medium, high, whatever. So when you do a web search, Claude will now, instead of using its native web search, it will craft a prompt for Perplexity, send Perplexity that prompt, and assign, the levels of, which model it wants to use and level of thinking and everything. And it'll receive back research, which is super cool. And I did think of all the people who probably don't want that hook installed. So there is a pretty easy way to turn the hook off while still having the ability to tell Claude to directly use Perplexity. And yeah, this is why it matters. LLMs search like humans with confirmation bias, looking for evidence to support what they already believe. And it's not really a bug. It's how they're it's how they're made. So when Claude forms a search query, it's looking for everything it knows from training already, and that knowledge shapes what it looks for. So Perplexity is different. It's a search first, synthesis later AI model. So it doesn't have any preconceptions about what the answer should be. So that's what makes Perplexity so very good at looking for updated current documentation, looking for recent API changes, breaking changes, etc., contradictions to training data, unknown unknowns, like information Claude doesn't even know that it doesn't know. Which is super important for literally everything we do in Claude Code. Like it's insane. So let me scroll down a little bit more. Perplexity versus web search. I did some benchmarks, and even using the plugin, even loading the skill, making the call, it took Perplexity 5.5 seconds to get a result that it took Claude's native web search tool 34 seconds to get, and the results kept on coming back exactly the same. Like, an average of 5 times faster to use this plugin to get your information, to get context for whatever you're doing, than it does to use the native web search tool that Claude has built in. Let's see. Ahad asks, can you use your Perplexity sub? No, you can't. You have to. Uh, yeah. You have to use your API. So just go in, throw $20 at it, create an API key. Super easy. The instructions are in the README, so it's dead simple. It's not using the Perplexity MCP. If you want to build a solution using MCP, that's fine. I don't know. It's so much easier to just do direct API calls or CLI and stuff like that. So not only is this 5 times faster, but the results were better, which I suspected this would be the case, but then I went through and I actually checked, and I mean, they're both pretty accurate, but the main difference is the format. Perplexity returns faster with inline citations woven into the answer. Web search gives more links, but takes longer to synthesize them into a coherent response. So then we have more of this, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing that I really wanted. And this is what took me the longest, and I'm still kind of working on it and tweaking it. But research persistence. I hate when I look up and find the latest documentation on one thing or another. And as soon as I leave that chat, that context is gone. Changelog or not, the context, the research that you actually pulled is gone. So I built yet another hook, and I told it to create a file in, the root directory of wherever you were working, the working directory. So not create a file, but create a Perplexity research subdirectory in whatever root you were in, whatever root directory or working directory you were in. And so it creates a timestamp markdown file with the original query, a full synthesized answer, all citations as clickable links, and all the raw search results with snippets, which is awesome because your research will no longer disappear. Tim, what's up, Tim? So, yeah, I'm still tweaking it. I am 100% dog fooding this. This is a feature that I've wanted in Claude for a while. There's some other interesting things. Now that I've made this, the next thing I kind of want to make is, no, by working directory, I mean, whatever whatever you're in at the moment. So, David asks, by working directory, you talking about a directory in GitHub? No, by a working directory, like whatever you're CD'd into. So like if you're in like whatever repo, it'll just create a thing, and you go in and modify it a little bit, ask Claude Code to make it your own, tell it where you want all this research to be stored, like forever and ever. But the reason I did it this way is because I figured whatever repo I'm in, whatever directory I'm in, if I'm doing research about that, that's probably where I want to keep it. So yeah, that's what I mean by working directory. So some more stuff, some changelog stuff. Yeah. So that's the plugin. And here, let me show you how it works. This is the part where I get real super embarrassed when it doesn't work. So I don't know. Let me think. Hey, can you go online and find me some research, or give me the latest information about Perplexity's AI models? So let me just turn that into a command, and boom. So there we go. Right there, fresh chat, and it's already using Perplexity's. Oh, wait. Yeah, there it is. It is looking for the latest info on their AI models. It's thinking. So, yeah. Hey, what's up, Tiny? So we're talking about this right now. This is the plugin that I built that that effectively just it's just so much better. And ooh, are we failing live? Oh man, that looks an awful lot like it didn't use the tool I asked it to use. There it is. There, it queried Perplexity, so it has. Yeah, so it's all there. Let me take a look. Let me, I'm still uh, Perplexity research. So that was a test query from earlier. Okay, so we are discovering right now that it still needs a little work, but it works. I'm just excited about it. So feel free to, you know, send me some PRs. Um, so yeah, so um, I suppose another thing we could probably add to it is um, like like what you said, Ahad. Like maybe we can tell it where to save it. But I suppose, let me see. There we go. Let me just move that a little bit. And here's our Perplexity output. So it tells us it used Sonar Pro. And there's all the information, which is super cool. Um, yeah, no kidding. It is a little overwhelming to find out. Like literally. So You know what this led me to? I have another thought. You know how Claude doesn't do image generation? This is going to be really cool. I want to create a plugin where Claude calls Nano Banana or something. Uh, it generates a prompt, creates the image, and then shoves that image into wherever you told it to. So like, hey, I need you to like make an image of this thing for this other thing, and then throw it in here. And like right in Claude Code, it'll call the Nano Banana API or the whatever API you decide to use, and that's going to be really fun. Just like the cool thing about Claude Code is that you can just kind of give it. Um, you could just give it the skills that it doesn't already have. I mean, that's the beauty of skills and plugins and all that kind of stuff. Like if Claude Anthropic famously doesn't give two craps uh, about image generation or video generation for that matter. And now you could just be like, hey, here's the API. Boom, do it for me. Kind of cool. Uh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Especially if it could take images you pass in as context reference to pass into Nano or whatever. 100%. Like, hey, here's my logo. I want to put this on the home screen of the website. Can you, send the logo to Nano Banana and tell it to like add a Christmas theme to it, or whatever. Um, and of course, you could do that manually, but I mean, why do it manually when you could, make AI do it? David says, yeah, Nano Banana has been incredible to use. But if it was inside of Claude Code, that would be super useful. Yeah, I've built a lot of little side project apps for that as well. But so that is, I don't know. Use, please feel free to download this. You have to use your own Perplexity API. Hey, what's up, Johnny? Let's see. This is what we're talking about. You have to use your own Perplexity API, but the plugin is free to use. Clone it, make it your own. Send me some PR requests. Tell me what I screwed up and make my life easier. You know. But yeah, this is just the start of. I want to start adding, using the plugin marketplace to just add more and more random little skills like this that are seemingly impossible, but like the numbers don't lie. This is crazy. Like, if we go to these statistics, like, just the fact that Perplexity will give you a result in 5.5 seconds that takes Claude 34 seconds, and it gives you a better result. I mean, that's awesome. And to have that built into Claude Code now, I'm pretty excited about it. And that persistence, just being able to like save your research, so you don't have to be like, crap. Yeah, so you don't have to remember to tell Claude over and over and over again. Now, create a file with all this or whatever. And yeah, it's just pretty great. I don't know. Let's see. Again, I'm gonna be hopping off in a couple minutes. This will be a short live. I'm gonna be hopping off and hopefully coming back on with Nate in I don't know how much time, but he will. Him and I will be talking about Claude Cowork, which let me show you my Claude Cowork screen right now. I want to show you how much I've actually used it. I'm pretty excited about actually trying it, because look at that. I've literally never used it. No, I won't be joining. I hate Nate's paywall content that doesn't render. I refuse to watch his stuff or click on it anymore. I don't know. Still has good stuff. Let's see. Fair enough. What you should do is sign up for AI Cred, because the MCP server not the MCP server, but I have some cool new stuff coming. It's kind of great. Don't tell Nate I said this though. I don't see any reason why you can't take the first half of his post. This is what I would totally do. Take the first half of his post and copy it, throw it into Claude, use my new plugin. And the plugin is free, by the way, for anybody who actually cares. But copy the first half of the post and be like, hey, do a little research and tell me what you think the rest of this post is going to be. I feel like that I'm going to test that out. You know what? This sounds like a cool idea. I told you, don't tell him I said it. It's just between you and me and literally every other person who's watching. Listen, there's So Ahad is defending Nate. Okay, yeah, that's fine. You know, don't steal his content, but I don't know, get some ideas, do some cool stuff. Subscribe to Nate, and you should do what I do. Just get his stuff for free. Like I still technically pay for his subscription, but I also link to him in my post every once in a while, and tell people to subscribe to him, which gives me a free month. So I think I'm up to like 9 free months right now. Which is just kind of fun. Fair enough. Now you're getting me feeling all paranoid and nervous now. Like Nate's going to see this second half of the video and be like, "That son of a bitch, John." So, by the way, next time I go live, I mean, not the next time tonight, but like I'm going to go live probably in a couple days. And you know what? Let's try it. Let's try it real quick. If anyone wants to join, it has to be one person. I just want to try something. I do make a lot of stuff, but you know. If you want to join on the live, click on that link, and I'll throw you up on the screen, and we can, it could be more than just me talking, kind of like Sam did last week. Just kind of killing time for a few minutes. But I mean, seriously though, Ahad, that's kind of like how I do a lot of stuff, reverse engineer. I mean, nothing's technically brand new ideas and information. I mean, I don't know. Nate is a little bit unique when it comes to that. He does come up with ideas and stuff like that are genuinely original, which is kind of cool. So your results will vary if you copy the first half and post it in the Claude to tell it to generate what you think the second half is going to be. Are you joining, Ahad? Oh, I guess that's his answer. Okay, hold on. Can you hear me?
There.
Okay. I can hear you. Let me switch scenes real quick.
Yeah, I don't know how any of this stuff works. I need to sit down with you at some point and figure out how to, because I'd like to go live and showcase me vibe coding. I just have no idea how to set all that up.
Well, you're live right now.
Am I?
Can you hear me?
Hey. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So, as far as I know, you should have a view of the production thingy thing, right? You should have a view of the actual broadcast, which is...
No, I happen to have that open on a different machine. I don't want to turn it on because obviously the audio is going to interfere, but I don't have access to the broadcast, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was sending. I thought it was returning a broadcast. I have to test that out later. I thought it was returning a broadcast view to you. So yeah, everyone, by the way, this guy. Wow, that's weird. This I'm pointing in the opposite direction. Right. This is Ahad. Hopefully, I've been saying his name right all this time.
I had an art teacher back in high school who used to say "Aha, Ahad," if that's a way to remember it.
I bet you that never got old.
He was super cool, and I liked her quite a bit, so it wasn't a problem. But if I could imagine if any other teacher had done it, I'd probably been upset. But no, she was super cool.
That's awesome. Here, I'm going to share this. Oh, wrong link. I'm going to share this other link. There. For anybody who just joined, that is the link that of the plugin I'm talking about right now, that I'm super proud of because it's super cool. So, Ahad, tell everybody what you're all about. Like you've been doing you've been diving into Substack a lot lately, and I know you've been an engineer for 30, 40 years, 70
20.
years,
Don't make me
20.
so old. I mean, I knew I wanted to develop when I was like 8 years old. I'm sorry, I knew it at 6, and I started doing coding at 8. Right. So if you want to include those years, I guess you can get to those high numbers. Still, I'm about to turn 40 this coming year. I guess it is now 26, so I'm going to turn 40 this year. But yeah, I've got 20 years of software development experience, startups, Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 1 companies. Um, so lots of background in software development, but I've been really jumping into the vibe coding space the last 3 years. I've actually got a project that is piloting tomorrow, second round at UTA, upol.live, which is a class engagement software as a service.
Classic. What does it do?
So, like instructors, whether they're a part of a university institution or independent, can create courses and lectures, and then inside those lectures, they can broadcast polls or surveys or whatever you want to call them. Basically, ask questions, have those questions count towards grades or quizzes, also for attendance. And it's really something that my sister, who's a professor of physics at UTA, wanted specifically built because she hated the systems that they had in place for attendance and grades and analytics. She didn't really care about the analytics and stuff. That was something that I added because I was like, oh, I want to make this a product and I want to open it up to independent people. But the idea was sparked because, the students have to buy like these hardware remotes for like 80 to 100 plus dollars to participate in their own education. Like it's incredibly stupid. So
That's
one of the first
crazy.
yeah, so one of the first things I was like, well, let's make a version of this platform that charges the instructors, and then eventually also open it up so that institutions can sponsor those instructors. But essentially not charge anything to the students. Let them jump in with their phone or their laptop, whatever, right? And the polls get broadcast in real time, and they're continuously broadcast. So you always have a current state of the poll, whether it's paused or started. You can add media, all sorts of whatever you would need to engage your classroom, whether your students are in person or online, and you can do attendance that way too, and then make that attendance be sort of not bulletproof, but like you can have a timed attendance survey of like 30 seconds or a minute or whatever, and say, hey, you have to put in this answer, right? So people can't like cheat their attendance. That was one of the things that she cared about. So, but yeah, I made it so that you can do courses and just upload recordings of the courses. You can attach materials to the courses and to the lectures, and you can have polls per lecture. So, simple course. I call it class engagement software as a service.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and I mean I've vibe
Oh,
coded a few other tools, but this one's like the big one, like the 300 plus hours and being piloted at a university.
yeah, that's legitimately cool. So I had, so for AI cred, I'm the one feature that's taken me forever to build is the teams feature where people, you have a team leader, or a
Mhm.
teacher or a business owner, consultant, whatever, manage a group of people. And that's taken me forever. Like, you see little features trickling out here and there, but that are related to it because I have to build other things first in order to make the big feature work, like credit sharing and profile
Mhm.
following. And but I brought that up because when I first launched AI Cred, it had I got a couple emails from a couple professors who I haven't heard from since. I told them it wasn't available yet, no teams or anything, but they want to the state of Louisiana University, a professor over there wants to have his kids take the course, take the evaluation at the beginning and then take another one at the end of the semester, and just to kind of compare how they did before and after. We do have a couple businesses signing up a bunch of their employees, which is kind of cool.
Are you going to do workspaces like separating the I don't know the data isolation, tenants, that kind of thing?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's some. It's so cool, and I can't wait to. I can't wait. Like, I'm not trying to hide any of the features. If people, if people want to steal things from me, that's totally fine. I would, I'll find out who you are and become really good friends with you because it takes a long time to develop that stuff. And if you're ambitious enough to do it, then you're not my competition. You need to be my friend. So, like,
Yeah, like more power to you. How do we partner, right? How do we collaborate? Because that's what I was saying. If you end up going in the university setting, I have an in at UT Arlington, which is connected to the UT system, which is UTD, UT Austin, UT Southwestern.
that's awesome.
So, um,
Yeah. So, yeah, some of the features I, I'm working on things that are like kind of new-ish technologies. At least I've never heard of anybody else doing it. I'm doing like for the evaluations and the training. There's what I call context injection points, where the team leader can assign specific context about that person and inject it into different parts, and then they could assign like they could pick out like they're in accountant or they're in accounting. Here's our software stack that they already use, and
mhm.
then AI Cred will combine that with their evaluation results to start them to bring them up in a level. It's insane. There's going to be some really cool stuff coming. So I brought that up just because that's I try not to ever miss an opportunity to hawk my own crap.
No, absolutely, and you shouldn't, right? That I plug UPoll, right? I have also got Ultra Post, which is like it's in beta right now, but it's LinkedIn content scheduling, kind of like RightStack, right? Or for Substack, or Substack Pro, which I really like Substack Pro from Finn. You know Finn Trophy from Jenny O and the whole vibe
I
coding builders
don't
group.
I don't think so. I'm not in a lot of the groups yet. But like I get so absorbed into like making little plugins like this that I totally forget to be social for days and days and days on end. And then I get back in and then I overwhelm people with like I can't stop talking for days on end. So
Content, it's great. I mean, I that's my problem. I mean, I say it's my problem, but I think it's a good thing where you're just so focused on building cool stuff. I've got two ongoing I've got to build tools with these two other people. That's how I stay social. Is I decide, you know what, let's you and I put together a tool or a software product or whatever. Let's just build something together. We don't I can be the one driving everything if that's what people want. Most of the people I work with end up being non-technical, so I end up doing the technical side. But it'd be cool to work with another technical person too. Like just build cool stuff, right? And divvy it up and use AI, and it's all about um, where does the human judgment come in, and what engineering principles do you end up using? And honestly, even if you use no other principles, that prompt that you talk about that you can say at the end of every prompt as you are building the thing out, right? That will have it repeat itself and tell you what it thinks you want. That along with iterating, right? Just validate, use the product yourself, iterate. Even if you do nothing else besides those two to three things, you're going to make a bomb product. And then you just add the security scanning and enhancement and all that stuff. You can backload that to the end if you want, even the performance checking if you want. I
yeah,
do it
yeah.
through it, but you can do it either way, right? But it's super cool.
And I actually I took your advice from last week, and I finally caved in, and I turned it into a whisper flow automation where I just say the words, play it back, and it'll boom, it puts out that entire string. So
Yeah, I make a version of it. I think I'm gonna call it standard prompt. But I honestly like your snippet better. Play it back. So I might do that, and it might include the ultra think. It might include the agents. That was something I was surprised about. You don't use the agents much. You just directly use the. But don't you run out of context all the time?
what's up? No, I mean there's a few things that like I'm not afraid to compact the living crap out of a conversation. So I'll go from I'll let it compact 50 times, or like I'll hit 40, 50, 60% context and I'll just compact. Or lately I've just been starting new conversations because somebody posted that, or not somebody posted, I was watching an interview and he made a lot of sense. the creator of Claude Code, said,
Oh, yeah.
he's like, listen, your context is in the repo already. It can look at your Git history and it knows what you just did. So you could literally say something as simple as like, hey, check over the work that was just done. It was done by some like junior peon engineer. He didn't know what he was doing, so I need you to check over it for me. It already knows the context, so boom, you're good to go. So you could just start new threads constantly, and that's what I do. Like, it depends on my mood. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, it did one task, new chat, hop in, good to go.
I think I do it by feature. So I'll do a larger conversation that maybe has a couple of compactions, even using agents. And then once that full feature is done, I'll PR that, and then I'll kill Claude, check for any updates because they update so damn often, right? And then I'll launch Claude again, and then I'll start the next big feature. I guess I don't do it as with a little bit more micros management as much as you do, but maybe that's a better route to do it. So I love that
It,
5 hour session that we had.
yeah, that was excessive. Um, um, so this is super cool, and I want to get on with you again because, like, I feel like once we get started, we could talk for a long time because you know stuff, and I need to extract knowledge from you. Just pretty much steal it and make it
Absolutely.
my. So
That's the premise behind my publication. It's also why I get so annoyed about Nate's Substack being so paywalled. And I'm like, bro, you've got the experience, you got the knowledge. Like, give it away. It's okay. People
well,
will sign up. He does so much stuff, like so much content.
it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And speaking of Nate, I have to end this right now because he just sent me his stream key and his RTMP URL.
Yep.
So
All right.
I'm gonna end this broadcast and come back live with Nate here in a few minutes. And but
Oh
Ahad,
yeah.
we have to talk again. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking about just doing this where people just drop in. Maybe, I could have up to 10 other guests on here. So we could all just like, make it very hornet's nest in here. So,
You've heard of mob programming? Have a coding party, right? Jack had a comment for you, but I'm going to go ahead and drop so you can figure out your web stuff.
all right.
You guys
I'll talk to you later. All right. I'll be back. See ya.